how would it impact you if your leader was this intentional at leading you and mentoring and coaching you? And they're like, holy cow, dude, it'd be amazing. Okay, why? That's another interesting question. Why would it be amazing for someone to lead you as intentionally as you saw in this particular chart that I had made? And that's to chew on. That's a question for you, the audience. EQ gangsters, what's up? So much to update you all on. This will not be that episode, but I have so many emotional lessons learned, y'all. Cannot wait to share them with you. This particular one that I was thinking about. So I've got a few big corporate clients, two big corporate clients, and then a couple other, one bigger corporate client that doesn't have as many folks that I'm working with, and then a couple smaller companies that I'm working with. And then I do my onesies and twosies speaking engagements and stuff for companies and for the military and stuff. So this one had me thinking. So again, I've got a couple companies that I'm doing work with, where I'm working with a number of their leaders. And then that's what I thought of. I give 100% to each leader that I coach. And it doesn't matter, executive, military, civilian, doesn't matter. If they're a leader, man, if you're in front of me, I'm giving you 110%. What's interesting is what each leader gets out of me is different based on how much they put into the coaching session. That's the lesson for this episode. You can get as much or as little out of the people you interact with as you want. You can get as much or as little out of your leaders as you want. You can get as much or as little out of the coaches that you have in your life that you want. You determine how much you want to get out of the people you work with. I created a dashboard, an EQ leadership dashboard that I've used since I was in the military, which was many moons ago. It's evolved over the years. I still use it, and I showed it to a handful of I did a group coaching session today with 5 executives, and I showed them my EQ leadership dashboard, and I was like, and I asked them, okay, what do you guys think? And they're like, holy cow, this is no joke. And then I asked them this question: how many people do you know are this intentional at leadership? And these aren't like 18-year-olds. These are, probably most are in their early 30s. One's 40, I think, and the other one is maybe early 40s. So, but bottom line is, these aren't spring chickens, right? These guys aren't, brand new to the leadership field. They've been in leadership for probably a good 10, 15 years. One guy for 20 years now. And all of them said, no, dude, I have never seen anybody be this intentional about leadership. And I said, okay, how would it impact you if your leader was this intentional at leading you and mentoring and coaching you? And they're like, holy cow, dude, it'd be amazing. Okay, why? That's another interesting question. Why would it be amazing for someone to lead you as intentionally as you saw in this particular chart that I had made? And that's to chew on. That's a question for you, the audience, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on the podcast. And then the next question, of course, is how intentional are you at leading, developing, coaching, and mentoring the people that you are responsible for? Then, what would the impact be of you utilizing a tool like, in this case, the EQ Leadership Dashboard with your leaders? And I know I'm talking about a product that you guys haven't even seen yet, but it's a powerful tool. I may have to bust it out and offer it to the, for you all, you know what I mean? For those of y'all that may be interested in taking your leadership to the next level, for those of y'all that would like to lead with that level of intention. That last set of questions though is, so obviously the impact of you increasing your level of intention at leadership for those you're responsible for would be game changer. What would the impact be if you were able to lead up with a tool like the EQ Leadership Dashboard? And forget the dashboard, forget it, right? It's just, the point is, if you were more intentional at leading up, okay, let me throw some questions at you. How much are you getting out of your leader or your leadership? Could you get more out of or from your leadership? What would it look like? What could it look like if you were to get more from your leadership? If you could change one thing in your leadership, what would it be? If you could change two things in your leadership, I'm talking in your leadership team, like not in your leadership, that's a whole nother set of questions. In the people that are above you, your chain of command, so to speak, we say in the military, if you could be more intentional, and this is part of social awareness, understanding how your leadership team is wired, strengths, weaknesses, all that other stuff, how could you be more intentional at getting the best out of your leadership team, your chain of command? How would that impact you? How would that impact your team? How would that impact your culture? How would that impact your results? How would that impact your outcomes? There's a couple articles, I've used this during a couple of my group coaching sessions that I do with a couple of my clients. 2 HBR articles that have been fired recently. Well, one's from June of 2020. One is from this month, July, August 2022. The most recent one is CEOs. Something like CEOs are requiring different skills in their companies, or at the C level. At the C level, there are different things that they're looking for, and you know what it is? The number one thing. Check this out. Harvard Business Review. The number one thing that organizations and companies are looking for in their C-level staff it's all the technical stuff. That's all the technical stuff. But what separates what they are looking for in their C-level executives is social skills. Social skills, y'all. Social skills. 2022, y'all. Social skills. Social skill. I feel like Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about social skills, y'all. And where do social skills come from? What do you need to have good social skills? Emotional intelligence. You got to have good self-awareness. You got to have good self-management. You got to have good social awareness. You got to have good social management. You have to have emotional intelligence. And then the article from June of 2020 was the discussion between, and I don't remember what it's titled, something like executives need both the analytical and emotional intelligence sides of their brain. They got to use both sides of their brain, not either or, it's both. And as I'm discovering, just with all the assessments, the emotional intelligence assessments that I'm doing on a lot of leaders lack EQ or aspects of EQ. Let me be more specific. aspects of EQ. And so that is something to really keep in mind. So a couple thoughts here, kind of bringing this home. How can you get the most, not only out of your subordinates and the people that work for you, but also how can you get more out of the people that work with you? How can you get more out of your leaders? And if you go so far as, if you are as intentional as having your own, coach, your own executive coach, your own leadership coach, your own life coach, maybe you get a fitness coach. How can you get more out of them? How can you bring the best out of the people around you? And again, it takes EQ to do that. It takes asking yourself the right questions. It takes understanding people. How well do you understand people? And I will tell you, before you answer that very confidently, I will tell you a lot of executives think that they understand people a lot better than they actually do. There's a whole nother book, and I talk about it a lot, Leadership and Self-Deception. I got it from my buddy. He was a retired Delta Force Sergeant Major. Well, he was in Delta Force for a while. Call it CAG now, and then he went to the White House, worked at the White House for a number of years, and he's retired, but he gave me this book called Leadership and Self-Deception. And there are a lot of leaders that aren't as bad to the bone as they think they are. So be careful about, no, but dude, you just don't understand, man. You don't understand me. No, but I understand people, bro. Well, I will tell you this, if you don't understand your own emotions, you don't understand people. I will tell you that right now. If you don't understand your own emotions, you do not understand people like you think you do. Because everyone's got emotions. And I will tell you, I could give you 10, 20 lessons right now off the top of my being of how emotions are driving people's decisions. Executives, stone cold killers, man. Executives in the boardroom, in the business, military folks. Emotions are driving their decisions, and in many cases, they're not even aware of it. So, and I think this is a skill, a muscle that can always be improved. So I'm so big on starting and developing an emotional fitness program. If you're interested or ready to check one out, check out the EQ Mafia, right? Go to EQgangster.com, check out the EQ Mafia, and grow with us in that community. We got a whole emotional fitness community that's growing on a consistent, regular basis, and it's fire. It's awesome. Emotionally healthy leaders create emotionally healthy cultures and organizations, which create and lead to optimize engagement, performance, outcomes, and results. If you don't face your emotional issues, your friends, family, and colleagues will be forced to. This episode is sponsored by Classical Conversations. Since 1997, Classical Conversations has been equipping families like yours with the resources to homeschool with confidence, following a classical curriculum rooted in a Christ-centered worldview alongside other families in a local community. Homeschooling is doable with Classical Conversations. Check out classicalconversations.com/Gibbons for more information. Again, that's classicalconversations.com/Gibbons, Gibbens.